Good morning. I hope this is going to be a quick video. I'll try to keep it short. It's not going to be about this book, but I do want to talk about this book right up front. Now, this video is about something else, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I bring this book up from time to time, and if you'll notice I've said things on my YouTube channel about this book and in my Facebook group, Flat Earth Cant Geodesy. I'm talking about this book, A History of the Determination of the Figure of the Earth from Arc Measurements, written in 1906 by Arthur Butterfield. I really encourage everyone to come to the link that I've put in the description box here and get yourself a copy. Just download the PDF and take a look. It's really a summary. It's a very concise summary describing how we've advanced over time through the centuries in our ability to measure the size and shape of the Earth. And I find this to be very interesting. I really enjoy this. In fact, my plan is to create videos going through it section by section and kind of filling in the details that aren't there, like pictures of the instruments that are being described in here, like these 9-foot-long telescopes, theodolites with circles of radiuses of 3 feet, 5 feet. These are huge instruments. And I'm finding pictures of them on the internet. I'll show you a couple. I've got some lined up here. So you can see right away, these are not your normal surveying instruments that we use today. It's interesting. Here's a picture of where some of these arcs of triangulation are from. Here they are in India. Here they are in Europe. Here's in South Africa. And here's over here in the United States. All described in the book. Here's a nice map just showing the triangulation to measure the arc along the meridian through Paris. That's just a sketchbook that you really can't read. Is from Mason Dixon. Here's a quadrant. Here's another triangulation map, and I've already downloaded lots and lots of these maps. They're really nice to look at, giving you a picture of what it was that they were doing back then. Here's one of these large instruments that you wouldn't recognize it today. That's nothing like what we use in surveying today. This is a cool map showing the triangulation that occurred. They performed along the 39th parallel. I love this map. Here's the triangulation they performed to connect the two observatories in Greenwich and Paris across the English Channel. It's very interesting. Just another map of triangulation. Now here's a page 47 out of Butterfield's book. And that's a sketch from Mason Dixon of the work they did along the Mason-Dixon line, what's called the Mason-Dixon line, but it also involves the establishment of the boundary between Maryland and Delaware. And they literally measured this line over 344,000 feet long. They measured that line using rods laid end to end to measure that distance. And they measured it backwards and forwards and come up to, very exacting comparisons, to within inches. Neat stuff. And but they observed for latitude here and here to measure this arc, the length, the actual arc along the meridian. And that's something I'm interested in replicating or trying to perform myself. So I've started planning that. So I plan to come down here and observe for latitude using my theodolite, and I'll use observations of the sun and also observations on Polaris at night. just for the fun of it. Yeah, well, I guess I'm a survey geek. I like this stuff, so I want to go and try this out for myself, and then do the same thing here, measure latitude using the sun and Polaris, and see how close I come to what they did. You know, we've got it made today. We use GPS for everything. I've, in my past, before using GPS, before GPS came along, I observed for azimuth quite a bit with my theodolite of the sun and Polaris. But and I tried observing for latitude a couple times just for fun. But I'm really into it now, so I'm going to do it. And here's a line, 25 miles. I'm going to do the same thing. Just trying to do what they did, what's being described in this Butterfield book. Anyway, but that's not the subject of this video. I wish it were, because that's what I'd like to be spending my time on. But there's this distraction I've become involved in a way that I'm going to bring to everyone's attention. It's kind of bizarre, actually. Let me go to my Facebook group. I've been involved in an email discussion with this person called Edward Hendrie and some of his followers, and we're discussing flat Earth in this email exchange. And I mean, I just don't take it very seriously, and I didn't put a lot of thought into it. And but I did provide good information. All of my responses are consistent in giving them the information they ought to examine and take a look at for themselves. But I am guilty of telling them that what they're saying is a lot of gibberish and jibber jabber, and so I guess I've insulted them like that. But the result of that is that I've been accused of being a charlatan, and he says he's proven me to be a fraud. And so I posted just that in my Facebook group, and I'll show you just the snapshots out of the emails without revealing email addresses or anything. But this is the interesting thing, is that this is his sketch portraying my measurements, completely incorrectly. But this is the view he has, and this is how he says the things look using my measurements. And my sketch is entirely different. This is my sketch, and in this video I'm going to show you this sketch close up, so don't think you have to try to read this. But here he is. He's exposed me as a liar and a charlatan. Yeah, this is an email, okay? Now, all right, and here I am attempting to end the discussion. I'm like, okay, I'm showing you measurements. I'm giving you exactly what I'm able to measure, and it's not just me, by the way, folks. I'm using methods and procedures that are used on any construction project, highway project, you name it. These are standard survey methods that we all use, and I'm using these methods to share our ability to actually show you the curvature of the Earth over very short distances. Anyway, I give him this, and he turns around and makes these crazy-looking sketches that do not resemble what was measured. And I'm telling him here, let's go our own way. Goodbye. You go your way, I'm going to go my way. We're not getting anywhere. And that's it. And I spelled that's supposed to be integrity. I doubt that's how you spell integrity. But anyway, I wanted out of this email thread. They haven't let me out. They continue to copy me. I've since blocked their email addresses. I'm done with the conversation. Go ahead. Go your merry way. But that didn't happen. What he ended up doing is publishing this book. All right. So he publishes this book, and turns out in the book, someone made me aware of this. My name's in this book. And if you go and search on the title of that book and add my name to the end of it, you will find that he has taken these email threads and used them as material for his book without ever telling me that that's what he was going to do. I would have much preferred to enter into an actual analysis. I even offered, hey, let's do an online, discussion of this. They weren't willing to do that, but anyway, I'm digressing. I just want you to be aware that this book exists and my name's in it. And what I'm going to do in this video is just show you the measurements that he's evaluating. And that's it. That's all I want to do. I'm not here to debate this guy anymore, but this tells you the type of characters you're dealing with in this whole flat Earth business. This is how they feel entitled to proceed. Anyway, so he's selling this book for $28. Where's my cut? You're using my work and you're collecting money, publishing this book. Not to mention, I think you're wrong in how you're presenting what I've done. So this is again, the links to everything are going to be in the video. This is one of the tests that I did that he is doing his analysis on. And also, you can come here to the blog to see what I've presented, and you can also click on that link and watch the video of me describing this work. Again, this work is standard survey procedures. So if I'm a charlatan and a fraud, then he's really calling all surveyors and frauds and charlatans, because I'm not doing anything different in this test than you would do for any type of survey work involving three-dimensional measurements of points, the relationship between 2 points. And what else to say about that? I mean, this is a very simple test. I'll just go back up to the top. Come on now. Now I'll go down to the bottom. I'll cut right to the chase. The sketch that was very small previously is now something you can possibly take a look at. And it's a simple test. I set 2 points level with each other using the water surface as the level. And so that the height of the instrument is the same height above the water as the target that I'm pointing on. And the purpose of this sketch is to get across this relationship, that the horizontal plane is perpendicular to the direction of the vertical plumb line. Okay, and so I took pictures with my telescope set horizontally, and you can see that the target is below that line. Of course, this is very exaggerated. Let's go take a look at one of those pictures. It looks like this. Okay, and I've got it, looking at it from the other direction as well. Same thing. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that if the Earth were flat, then the vertical plumb line would be parallel everywhere. There would be this inclination would not exist. It would be parallel, and the sum of the zenith angles would be 90, no matter what. But that's not what we find. We find that the sum of the zenith angles is always greater than 180 degrees in all directions. And I'll make the point here also that what I'm showing you here is not normal survey work. We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth. They already did that. It's in the book that I keep talking about. The history, of the determination of the figure of the Earth through arc measurements. That's already been done for many centuries. So we don't do that all the time anymore, but we can. I'm showing it to you right here. But, when we do our survey work, we're basically going out to accomplish some task. It could be staking out a long new highway project or railway project, or a corner gas station, or a shopping mall, or an athletic field, or a stadium, or anything. We're doing survey work, and we just get down to business and do that work. But I can tell you this, that if you take the raw measurements of any surveyor that is performing that work and do this analysis, you'll find out that the sum of the zenith angles between the 2 points is going to be greater than 180 degrees. And that translates into a direct measurement of this relationship. It also turns out to be the difference in latitude and longitude between those 2 points. That's what it is. So anyway, I shared this, and Edward has taken me to task, put me in his book, and draws sketches that do not resemble the actual measurements made. And what I want to do next is show you the measurements. Oh, also, I want to thank Flat Earth. I've done this before, but I like doing this. I want to thank Flat Earth for piquing my curiosity about all this. And I have tons of measurements made all over the place. Along water, not on water, at sea level, way up high, above sea level. So this has been fun. I've enjoyed just playing with this. It's enjoyable. And so I'm going to continue doing that. And like I said, I'll be using the book, Butterfield's book, as just an interesting research project. All right, but I want to show you next is the field notes from that day back in 2016, November 1st. I called it Cooper River, but we all call it Cooper River, but it is a lake. It's Cooper River Lake. You can find that out for yourself. And here are the measurements. I'm going to show them to you at risk of being critiqued further, because God forbid there's a little mistake in here or a round-off error or any such thing. They come at you scrutinizing. So here it is. Transparency. There's the date, the start time, and I make 6 sets of direct and reverse zenith angle measurements, and I compute the average, the standard deviation, and the standard error of the mean. And I make a note over here that I set the telescope at 90 degrees and the target was below, and I'm just making a note. I've got the pictures and the videos of that. Then I go across the river, or the lake rather, and go to the other side, occupy that point again, and same height. Target is set at the same height as the instrument is above the water, and record another 6 sets of zenith angles, the average, the standard deviation, and standard error of the mean. And then I discovered that when I went to do this for the 3rd time, because I wanted to have independent occupations, I literally blew it. And I flipped the number. I think it was 143 instead of 134. So the instrument was not at the same height as the target. But, oh my God, I took the time and recorded these zenith angles, which I didn't even bother reducing them. Anybody who wants to take a snapshot of this page, reduce these zenith angles, and using the wrong height, you will still see the arc there. But anyway, just to be faithful to recording what happened, here you have it. Mistakes happen. And hopefully our methods and procedures are designed to trap the human element, which is that we tend to make mistakes like that. So anyway, full disclosure, there it was, but it doesn't become part of the analysis. So I took the time to reset the instrument at the correct height and measured the next set of 6 zenith angles: average, standard deviation, and standard error of the mean. Again, another series of pictures and videos taken through the telescope set at 90. And then I think this is the last set. Okay, so yeah, back to there. And so that becomes the result, the boiled down result. In other words, I took all of that and included it to come up with what appears to be about a minute of arc here. I got a minute and 7 seconds on the first, and then 56 seconds, just 4 seconds shy of a minute here. All right, and that's consistent. And if you look at my channel, you'll see other tests, similar tests that way. And I've done this on lines 1,000 feet long, 500 feet long. I've even gotten curious to see, well, how close can I do this? And I've done it as on lines as short as 200 feet using great care. And I think what the next thing I'll be doing is presenting a video of all of those, just 200 feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet, a mile. You could see my other video called One Level Mile, or One Level Mile. And that test was done a year apart, twice. It seems I get out there in November all the time. I know it was November 2015 and then November 2016. And I made a video about that, showing you the comparison between all of that work. But again, I'm going to move forward with some videos showing you how easy this is to measure, and that all surveyors do have this raw data whenever they traverse and have targets set and measure zenith angles forward and backward. The sum of those angles will be greater than 180 degrees. And let's see, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to do. Is now, like I said, I'm going to paste this links in the description. And Camtasia is running. And one last thing, I will do this just to show you how far back this goes. I was searching, I forget what I was searching for, but I came across this. I had forgotten about it. This conversation that I had with Jeran after I published my very first video. I guess it's going on around 2 years ago. Jeran wrote an article. I didn't know who he was, but someone made a comment in the video and linked it to this forum, and I entered it immediately. You have to sign up, get an account, and I started talking to Jeran. And you can come back and look here. And I was just surprised to see that, it's the same old story. I've been saying the same thing for 2 years. And, you'll see that this whole exchange if you care to go and review it. I'm just showing you my comments here. Me answering this guy, Antonio, et cetera, et cetera. So you can click on this, I guess, and view the whole discussion. But that's not the point of this video. But I wanted to include it so you could just look back and see what I'm saying today is the same thing I've been saying as far back as 2 years ago when I first jumped into this. And, if you come here to look at the conversation, you can actually click on this link to see the picture that we're talking about, posted on Facebook in the I Love Geodesy group. And that's my crosshair through my level instrument sitting on top of the fire tower at Apple Pie Hill at about elevation 256 feet, looking at the Comcast building, which is over 1,000 feet tall, but we're intersecting it at the top rather than somewhere down lower at 256, let's say. And now I want to end this video because I hope it's short enough. I don't want to go on and on about this. I really, really do want to move in a whole different direction. Not debating flat Earth. I don't debate it. I really just try to furnish useful information that people can evaluate for themselves. That's the point of that. But now I want to get deeper into the research and the history of where geodesy comes from, and that's what interests me. And I'm just here to share it with anybody else that's interested as well. And with that, I will say good morning. Have a great day, and we'll see you on YouTube again. All right, take care. Bye-bye.